A navigation bar is very much important for navigation purpose in order to allow the user to navigate among the pages. In every website, the top level box is called as navigation bar, which includes with a set of hyperlinks along with the brand name or website name. So a navigation bar always displayed at the top of the page or left side of the page, which contains links to various sections of the website. All hyperlinks of the nav bar should be created inside the LA tag, and those LA tags are present inside the UL tag. Here UL and LA tags are must because we are creating a list of links. So any kind of list refers to UL or OL tag, right? And you can hide the bullet or number of the UL by using list style type none property. And you can use the box model properties such as width, height, padding, etc. in order to arrange the list items side by side that look like a navigation bar. And also we have to use the link styles that are explained in the previous lecture, that is a::link, a::active, a::h over, etc. The goal is that in the course project, I would like to create a navigation bar at the top of the home page that contains the brand name or website name, that is India Tourism, and after that some set of links to various pages of the website. So by this lecture, you should be ready to create a navigation bar in any type of website with brand name and a set of hyperlinks. Here the fonts, colors are your own choice. So at your practice time, you are free to use any color or any styles as per your wish. So these are the set of hyperlinks that are created as per the previous lecture. Let me convert the same into navigation bar. My goal is that I wish to create a navigation bar at the most top of the page, and it is divided into two parts. The left portion is the brand name or website name, and the second portion is the list of links displayed by using a tag. And each box is represented as div tag, and you can display those div tags side by side by using float left property as explained in the previous sections. So first let me write the HTML code. We have a tag called div id equal to nav, and let me change it as nav bar. So inside this nav bar, we have two parts, that is brand and navigation items. So the first box is called as navbar brand. Here the brand name means the website name. And then we have the list of hyperlinks that is mentioned as nav. And inside the nav, you should have UL tag. In real websites, it is highly recommended to use the UL tag for a set of hyperlinks in the navigation bar, because UL tag represents the list. You are writing a list of hyperlinks rather than one or two. So UL stands for unordered list, and each hyperlink should be represented as LA tag. That means in this LA tag, you can use your A tag. You can create any number of list tags as per your requirement. For example, I am creating 3 hyperlinks, so 3 LA tags should be there. So as of now, you can see 3 hyperlinks are displayed as 3 list items. For clarity, Let me remove the styles of hyperlinks that are created in the previous lecture. So I am removing all these styles, and this is the default look of the hyperlinks that are created inside the LA tags. So we should follow this structure, that is a div tag with two sections, that is navbar brand and nav sections, and inside the nav section UL, which means unordered list, and inside which we have LA tag along with the A tag. This is the structure of HTML that you require to follow for creation of navigation bar. But does it look like a real navigation bar? No. So we require to apply a lot of CSS code in order to make it look like a real navigation bar. So first of all, let me select this particular div tag by its ID, that is navbar. So here I am using the ID selector, that is #navbar. So this ID selector selects the div that contains ID, that is navbar. And for this navbar, I am trying to apply some background color. For example, green. So you can see the green color background for the entire navbar. And now you should mention certain height for the navigation bar. For example, 150 pixels. No, it is too much. Let me set as 60 pixels. So that could be enough. So this is the height of the navigation bar. And let me write some brand name, that means the website name, that is India Tourism. The same has been displayed here. Now this is the time for displaying the brand name and nav side by side. So how can we display these two div tags side by side? We have to set the width and height along with the float left. And I wish to select the navbar brand, which is especially present inside the navbar. So I am writing the child selector in order to select the navbar brand, which is present inside the navbar. So this selector says that I wish to select the navbar brand, especially which is present inside the navbar only. In other words, I am selecting the child which is present in the specific parent. But this doesn't mean we are selecting the parent here. We are only selecting the child, that is navbar brand. So for this navbar brand, I am selecting the width and background color. In the same way, let me select the second div tag, that is nav, and apply some background color and width for the same. So I wish to select nav, which is the child of navbar. So navbar is the parent which contains a child called nav. First you should write the parent space child. As navbar is the ID, I am using hash, and as the nav is the class, I am using dot. So here I am selecting the child tag, which is the class equal to nav. That means this particular div, which is the child of navbar div. So for this div tag with class equal to nav, apply some width as well as background color. So as you can see, there are two boxes, one is with blue, other one is with red. And now, instead of specifying the width as pixels, it is better to mention the width as percentages so that you can exactly control them how much they should occupy among the available space. So let us assume the available space as 100%. Out of this 100% space, I wish the brand should occupy 20% of the width and remaining 80% for the nav box, that means for the second div tag. So I am writing 20% and 80%. And in order to display them side by side, I am using float left as well as float left for both of these div tags. So because of the float left, they appear side by side. Here, the green color box is the parent, blue color box is the first child, red color box is the second child. And let me make it as 30% and 70%. So the same become like this. And now let me remove the background color of the brand. So let me comment it. And also I am trying to apply the padding, that means padding top, padding left. For example, the padding top is 10 pixels and padding left is 5 pixels. So as you can see, there is some padding applied for the top as well as left. And because of padding, the second box has been moved towards next line, because as per the default settings, the width doesn't be inclusive of margin, padding and border. So that is the reason for all the elements it is better to mention box sizing as border box, which means that the width of any element is inclusive of border as well as padding. So now, as you can see, the width 20% is inclusive of the padding as well as the content and also border if any. In this case, it has no border, of course. So if you again change it as a content box, which is the default value, the padding is calculated outside the width, which affect the next box to go to next line rather than displaying in the same line. So that is the reason, keep in mind, in real websites, always you need to set it as border box. That means the width should include border as well as padding of the each element. Only the margin is calculated outside the element. So exactly both boxes are displayed side by side. And it is better to mention this asterisk at the top of the CSS code. And let me scroll down. Now let us focus on the second box, that is div class equal to nav. This contains an UL tag resulting the list of items by default display line by line. I wish to remove this bullet symbol and I wish to display them side by side. By the way, how can we select this UL tag, which is the child of class equal to nav, and that is the child of id equal to nav bar? First you should write the parent and then child and then grandchild. Here the parent is id equal to nav bar. So I am selecting the nav bar ID first and its child, that is .nav, and then its child UL. Here space is the separator between the parent and child. Here I am selecting the UL, which is the child of class equal to nav, and that is the child of ID equal to nav bar. So in this case, I am selecting only UL but not class equal to nav or ID equal to nav bar. So any CSS properties that are written here are applied only against the UL tag but not the other div tags. So I am writing list style type none in order to remove the bullet symbol. I have already explained all the options of list style type in the previous sections. And then let me remove the default padding and set it as 0 pixels. So it has removed the space of UL tag. See, if you don't mention padding equal to 0, there is some default padding for the UL tag, and we are removing it by adding padding equal to 0 pixels. Now, let me select the LA tag which is present inside the UL, that is present inside class equal to nav, and that is the child of ID equal to nav bar. So always you should start selecting from the parent. So the parent is hash nav bar, that means ID equal to nav bar, and its child is .nav, and its child is UL, and its children are LI. That means we are not selecting UL, we are not selecting nav, but we are selecting all the LA tags that are present inside this particular UL tag. So that means any properties that are mentioned here are applied for all the LA tags that are present in this particular UL tag. So commonly for all these LA tags, I am just writing float left in order to display them side by side. So as you can see, all the list tags are displayed side by side. In order to maintain some distance between each item, I am just adding padding, that is padding left 20 pixels as well as padding right 20 pixels. So as you can see, there is some padding between each item. And now I wish to select the A tag which is present inside the LA tag. So guess how to select it? Yes, it is hash nav bar dot nav ul li and finally A. In this case, I am not selecting li or ul or something else. I am only selecting all the A tags that are present inside the LA tag. Here A means all these A tags of all the LA tags. So any properties that are mentioned here are applied for all these hyperlinks. And for all these hyperlinks, I would like to apply the default link styles by using a::link as we have learned in the previous lecture. That means these styles are applied for unvisited links. I am just changing the text color as white and text decoration none in order to remove the underline. And let me comment out this background color red. So as you can see, the underline has been removed and text color is white. Let me clear the browser history and refresh. And text color is white, as you can see here. I have mentioned white color but not red color here. And when the user places mouse pointer on any of these hyperlinks, they should be highlighted, right? So you should write H over, that means hyperlink over, for all the hyperlinks. So I am selecting all the A tags in the same way, that is nav bar, nav, ul, li, a, : H over. So these styles gets applied when you hover on the particular hyperlink. I am just trying to apply a bit darker green. So this green gets applied as background color on each hover. And now, instead of applying the padding for the LA tag, I am applying the same for the A tag, that means for all the hyperlinks. So this is the box of the actual hyperlink. And let me change the background color of the navigation bar, which is mentioned here. So I am just selecting a different shade of the green and scroll down. And here I am selecting a bit darker green. So the same colors have been affected here. And I wish this navigation bar even at the most top of the page. So I am just moving this heading below the navigation bar. Now, as you can see, the navigation bar is at the most top of the page. And now for the UL tag, let me remove the default margin by writing margin equal to 0 pixels. So as you can see, there is no default margin for the UL. And let me push the UL tag down by mentioning margin top as some pixels, for example 15 pixels. So the entire UL tag has been pushed down by 15 pixels. And for the hyperlink, that is in the A colon link, I am just adding padding top as 10 pixels, as well as padding bottom as 10 pixels again. So this is the updated appearance of the navigation bar. And once the user clicks any one hyperlink, for example, I click on states and come back to the previous page, that particular hyperlink becomes as visited link, right? So let me change its appearance by using A colon visited. Really, I wish to apply same style for even for visited links. So instead of writing A colon visited separately, I can apply the same by mentioning comma. So after comma, we can repeat the same path, that is navbar, nav, ul, li, A colon visited. That means for all the unvisited links and visited links, same styles gets applied. So you need not repeat these particular properties once for A colon link and once again for A colon visited. So even for visited links such as states, same styles are applied. And let us apply border radius for the box of the hyperlink. So border radius as 6 pixels. So as you can see, there is border radius for each hyperlink. And let us apply some style for the brand name. So let's scroll up and focus on the brand name. So for this brand, let's apply color and also font weight bold, padding left as 15 pixels. So the same has been updated here, and padding top as 16 pixels. So it is ready. So as you can see, from the basic list of hyperlinks, we have converted the entire output as navigation bar which is beautiful and good looking. This is how you create a navigation bar in the real websites.